and welcome to my kitchen. And today I'm going to share with you a killer buy that I got off the produce markdown rack once again at my Harris Teeter. Pardon me. I went over to the grocery store to pick up a couple of things before supper. Always check that markdown rack because you never know what you're going to find. And this is what I found. A dozen boxes of white button mushrooms, all for $1 a piece.
Not a thing wrong with them.
No, and these retail for over $2 a package, so I saved over half of what I normally would. But I wasn't planning on doing any of this tonight, but guess what? Now I'm going to. We're going to dehydrate these. I've had a lot of questions, a lot of people recently asking me, please show us how to dehydrate stuff. What do you dehydrate? Well, today we're going to dehydrate these mushrooms. So, I got my dehydrator out. I haven't been using it during the summer. I know that's, silly, but the summer is so hot this year that when I use the dehydrator, it makes the house hot and it makes my air conditioning run harder, and that costs me money. So we put the dehydrator away for the summer. We put a lot of things in the freezer, which I am going to dehydrate now that fall is coming on and things are going to be cooler. That way I won't spend so much gas to heat my house, because my house gets hot, so the dehydrator will help that. But what I've gone ahead and done is I've done one container to show you how we're going to do these. Now, the first time I ever dehydrated mushrooms, I simply slice them and I put them on the dehydrator trays. And one thing I did notice by doing it that way is that the mushrooms tend to become very tough. So in order to alleviate that problem and help them rehydrate as a softer product, I'm going to check them first. And when you check a vegetable or a fruit first, that means you're going to do a little steaming. So I put this is one whole container that I put here, and I'll show you how I slice this up. I got out my handy dandy egg slicer, and I'm just going to pop the stem out. We're not going to dehydrate those because they're a little bit tough. So what you want to do is you want to put your mushroom cap in there, top down. So this is the top. You want to put that in there so the stem end is up. And then you want to slice it. Now it's not going to slice all the way through, okay? So what you want to do is you want to bring it over here and you want to gently push that through the wire so you don't break the wires. Just kind of give it a little push with your thumb, really gently. And this helps you to get perfectly uniform slices so that these will all dehydrate at a relatively equal rate. Now I've put these in here. I am going to just put a touch of water in there, okay? And then I'm going to put a plate on top and I'm going to stick these in the microwave for 1 minute. And then we'll be right back. Okay, these were in the microwave for 1 minute. And they're just, you can really smell the mushroom smell, and they've just started to steam ever so slightly, but this is going to help them not to be tough. So I'm just going to do this. You see I've put that tray right over my sink. Go ahead and spread it out. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and I'm going to finish these up, and then I'll bring you back and I'll show you what they all look like when I get them in the dehydrator. Okay, it took me about an hour, and we have all of these trays now have mushrooms or mushroom stems. Now, you know I pulled the stems out and I told you not to use them because they're too woody, and that is true. But I got 8 trays of sliced mushrooms, and they're nice and even, and you may or may not need to adjust the time that you put it in the microwave. I did find that some of them, where the mushrooms were a little bit larger, I did put them in the microwave for 1.5 to 2 minutes. It just depends. But we have 8 trays of sliced mushrooms, and then we have 2 trays of mushroom stems, which I also checked in the microwave for about 2 minutes because these are really thick. But what I plan on doing with the mushroom stems after they're completely dehydrated is I'm going to put them in my coffee grinder, and I'm going to make mushroom powder out of them. And you can use mushroom powder to enrich broths and stews and sauces, and anything that's a beef base it's going to give a really lovely rich flavor to. And mushroom powder is often used in very high-end restaurants and is very expensive. So you're going to make your own version of mushroom powder. Granted, the mushroom powder that they may use in a high-end restaurant is probably ground porcinis, which I can't touch with a 10-foot pole because they're so expensive. But I'm happy to make mushroom powder out of these white button mushrooms, no problem. So these are going to take a nice long warm nap, and I'll bring you back when it's time to show you what they look like when they're all done. So we'll be back when that happens, probably tomorrow. Okay, we started this little project Friday evening. I got all of these mushrooms into the dehydrator, and around 11 o'clock was finished doing that. Now, I let them dehydrate all night on Friday night and then pretty much all day yesterday. So they were in the dehydrator for 24 hours. Okay, these are all the stems. I've just put them all together. Now, I don't like to waste things, and these are really, really crispy, and they're really hard. Now, this is the equivalent of about 9 packages of mushrooms, okay, that were dehydrated down. I used some in my dinner last night. I put some in my pasta sauce. So, and they were beautiful. I rehydrated them in a little bit of hot water, and then I simmered them in the sauce, and they came back really beautifully. I did add the mushroom water to the sauce because when you rehydrate these, you get a really rich broth that's full of mushroom flavor. Don't ever throw that out. Add it to whatever you're cooking. It will just really enhance it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to put this lid on here, and later on I'll go ahead and vacuum seal that with my food saver. Is I'm going to do something with these mushroom stems, and I'm going to grind them, and hopefully I'm going to achieve a powder. And then I'm just going to put it in this tiny little mason jar, which is a 4-ounce mason jar. Probably won't fill it even halfway, but we'll see. So let's see how this turns out. Give that a second to calm down. I think we've achieved.
Don't breathe that.
Don't breathe that. I feel like the Blend Tech guy. Will it blend? Dehydrated mushroom stems. Will it blend?
Is it glow stick dust?
Huh? I think that's really good. Look at that. There's a couple of bigger pieces in there, but oh wow, I got more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
So don't throw your mushroom stems away, because out of 10 packages of mushrooms, I got 4 ounces of mushroom powder. Now, if you look online, you can look up mushroom powder, and it's really expensive. So you can just add a spoonful of this to a stock. If you're doing a beef stock or an onion soup, add a spoonful of this. It's just going to richen that stock, and it's going to be beautiful. And if you want to add a little mushroomy flavor somewhere, if you want to make cream of mushroom soup with the magic mix, put some of the dehydrated mushrooms in there along with the mushroom water, and replace the water recommendation with some of the mushroom water and a spoonful of this powder, and you're really going to have an amazing cream of mushroom soup. So there you have it. You've got 4 ounces of mushroom powder, a quart of dehydrated mushrooms. So this is what's left, you know, from the 10, but I used a handful last night, so I'm going to call that about a package of mushrooms is what we used. And I think that's a really good result. So when you see things on the markdown produce rack, and if you have the means, purchase them, take them home. Even though you weren't expecting to have to process something that day, guess what? In the long run, it's going to save you a load of cash, because you won't have to buy them fresh, and later on down the line, you will have these on hand, and they're a beautiful thing. So I hope you try it. I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya.